I joined my band The Gits with 3 college friends in 1986. There's 2 guys from New York and a young art student from Louisville, Kentucky, named Mia Zapata. She was shy and funny, but teased me mercilessly, and we became the best of friends. Her singing voice, her phrasing, she sounded like an old blues singer. It was like nothing I'd ever heard. She wrote lyrics that seemed deeply personal, yet somehow universal. I wasn't the only one to think that her songs were written for me, about my life. I get emails and letters almost daily from people just discovering or rediscovering the Gits. I've been told more than once that listening to our songs lent strength to folks on the verge of suicide.
I never thought of her as a star. It's just my daughter, my daughter, Mia Zapata. 27 years old and double jointed. That's who she was. Very quiet, very reserved, and yet with a microphone in her hand, march her up on a stage, and she was just magnetic.
There are these things that I want the most.
Mia was doing something that was unique in 1993, and it's unique today.
Oftentimes in the history of popular music, women artists take a while for really their influence to be felt. And I think it's a ripe time for the Gits' influence to be felt and Mia's influence, because a new generation of artists are taking from Mia without even knowing they're taking from Mia.
I've never since encountered an individual with the heart, character, passion, and raw talent of Mia Zapata. She may have been the best rock singer and lyricist of our time. What she chose to share about her inner world and her songs took the genre of punk rock to another level. Despite her brilliance as a person and as a musician, Mia is largely remembered for the circumstances of her death at age 27. Mia was brilliant, funny, completely unpretentious, and truly one of my best friends. I loved her. And she was killed by a stranger July 7th, 1993. But this project has nothing to do with the end of Mia's life. The aim is to reframe the narrative of how Mia is remembered, to reflect the truth. She was a uniquely talented artist and musician, a woman who continues to inspire and empower young people all over the world, even 25 years after her death. She'd be 50 today. Wait, 51. So I decided to write a book about 3 years ago. The purpose of this book is to reclaim that narrative of Mia's life and to tell the true story of those years prior to July 7th in 1993. But there's more to the story. Mia used to claim that she was related to Emiliano Zapata, the Mexican revolutionary from the early part of the 20th century. Mia's father, Richard, used to tell her stories about Zapata and apparently had artifacts that related them directly. Well, during these long drives between gigs that we would have, Mia sometimes would start telling the stories to us that her father had told her. But when I looked in bookstores for information on the revolution and Emiliano, in 4 years I could only find 3 books in English and 1 in Spanish. He was the general in the Mexican Revolution. He could have been president of Mexico, but he refused. He was an anarchist, and they don't put anarchists in American history books. But how could I work that story into the story of the Gits? That changed when a guy named Pat Moriarty contacted me via Facebook and asked if I wanted to do a graphic novel about the Gits. He truly got it. He loved rock and roll. He'd done posters for bands all over the world, and he wanted to work with me. So 2 years ago, we got started on a graphic novel. There are many similarities between Emiliano's life and Mia's life. Emiliano became a bit of a folk hero, as did Mia. Connecting their stories in a graphic novel is easy, and we decided to take it deeper. Let's write the thing and then make it free for some classes of middle school or high school students in Mexico and the US. I've come up with the curriculum and an interactive internet connection between classes in the US and Mexico so they can discuss the novel, critique it, and make some friends.
I was born by a river.
This project is all about intercultural understanding and peace, starting with young people.
Just like that
A
river.
major theme for me is the idea that we create our own story, our own narrative, and that one person can actually make a big difference in the lives of others. The connection between Mia and Emiliano, to me, is so obvious when I look in their eyes. Let's connect them and change the way these two heroes are remembered.